Welcome back, people. We're here with another episode of our pre-Champions League Tuesday night football. Some really exciting matches ahead today. We have PSG and Bayern with a great scoreline of 3-2, and of course we have Chelsea Porto, which is not such a great game to be honest, but we have to cover it. So we'll be covering these two games. We'll be announcing the lineups for you in the show. So please stay tuned. Don't go away, and we'll also have some technical analysis and then see what we might be able to do for the games that come up ahead. And yeah, basically that's what we're going to do today. And PSG Bayern, guys, because one of the biggest games and I think the best game of this Champions League round. City Dortmund won't be as interesting as
Yeah.
this. Sri, what do you think?
Yeah, man, absolutely massive tie. I mean, and the best thing about the tie is that when such matches happen, you want them to go a certain way, and that game went exactly how we wanted it to. There were 5 goals. There was so much controversy. Neymar and Mbappe put on such absolutely excellent performances. Bayern as well. They peppered PSG with the host of chances they created. So yeah, man, I think it was a very fun game, and there's a story in the second leg. You won't really put your money on either of the sides because again, you don't know what can happen to elite sides. So yeah, super excited for this one, man. Guys, what do you think?
Arnav, you want to go?
Yeah,
Yeah,
enough.
sure. So
Little lag.
I just want to say if this game can be anything like the previous leg, then as neutrals we're in for a treat.
Yeah,
And as far as my personal hunch goes, I think Bayern are gonna make it through because I think as good as PSG played last time, I can't see Bayern missing a host of chances again. Like they're too good for that. What do you think, Adi?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like PSG because they have Pochettino under them. Ideally, if this was second leg under any other manager, they would have gone into their shell, probably have 11 men behind the ball. I feel like Pochettino is a bit wiser. He has made a Champions League final. Don't forget. And I think PSG. They have 3 away goals. I think they're going to nick one today, and yeah, I think they're going to go through. As much as I want Bayern to
Yeah.
go through, I think I want PSG.
Yeah, Arnav, just coming back to your point, you think Bayern's going to go through, but PSG have those 3 away goals. And if they score even one goal, then Bayern needs to score around 3, 4 goals, and that's going to be really, really tough for them. What do you think? Do you think I seriously I can see PSG score a goal very easily just because of how Bayern's been poor defensively, but
yeah.
Bayern need to score 3 or 4 goals, and without Lewandowski, I don't think that's happening. Arnav?
Yeah, definitely. I can see Bayern conceding again today. But last time the amount of chances they created, they had 4.14 xG or something like that. They could have scored practically 5 or 6 goals. I still think they're not going to be able to plug their shortcoming defensively in a matter of 6 days, 7 days. So they are going to ship goals, but I feel like they've got enough quality to say win by a 2 goal margin.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to sort of not interrupt that point, but sort of counter that point. I think Bayern, even though they had an amazing XG, when you look at the XG numbers as well, I think Bayern had 5 shots that were worth 0.3 XG. PSG had 4. So when you look at that, the big chances created, it was pretty level. And I actually disagree with Arnav entirely. Like, I'm not saying that Bayern can't win, but I think PSG are going to win. I think PSG executed the game plan to absolute perfection. The way they played on that counter, the way Mbappe gave the defenders nightmares, it was exactly what you expect on the tin when you look at a PSG side with the likes of Neymar and Mbappe and so much speed. So I actually can't see a Bayern win at all. Even if Bayern score 3, 4 goals, I just think Bayern can't defend at all. Let's be honest, their defense is really poor. And B, this attack with Neymar and PSG and potentially Marco Verratti returning is, it's a treat to watch. So I don't give Bayern a chance tonight at all. So that's my take. Ritvik, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I was just reading something that Marquinhos and Verratti are not likely to return today.
Oh wow,
So
okay,
yeah,
fair
that's
enough.
going to be a big miss for PSG. But on the other hand, Bayern have been without their main man, their star striker Robert Lewandowski, who has been the best player in the world this season. Yes, Messi's been good,
Facts.
but I think he's been much better.
Good.
And I think I think they're really gonna miss a goal scorer today in Bayern in Lewandowski, like they did in the previous games. And no matter how many chances they create, it's too much. I feel too much to come back
Yeah.
from. Of course, it's the Champions League; anything can happen. These are the nights we dream for. This is why we stay awake.
Come
And
on.
yeah, that's that's pretty much it. But again, if I had to pick a key player for Bayern today, I think it has to be Leroy Sané. He really has to step up his game He missed a lot of chances last season. He's my boy from City. I really expect him to deliver.
Yeah.
And yeah, he really needs to. He needs to show everyone why his 60 million fee is worth it. 50 million fee. What do you
Yeah.
guys think? Adi, I'm going to go to you. Who do you think is going to be the key player for Bayern?
That's a great point about Sane. He's a player I was going to touch on in a bit. But now that you mentioned him, last game he was somewhat missing, and that's been his story this entire season. Every time I watch Bayern, Sane is one of my favorite players. I know as two City fans, you probably love that. But this guy is so good on his day. He's unplayable when he's on form, but he hasn't been on form at all. I mean, he's probably had, I think, 1 or 2 standout games, and that's when the entire team is scoring like 5-6 goals. So he's just bound to get one. But again, he's one of those players that needs to step up now. They had Gnabry missing as well last game, I think, and that's when you need the likes of Sane, such a hefty price tag to step up. Tonight is one of those huge Champions League nights where Leroy Sané can prove to Bayern that this is why you bought me. This is why you put in so much money. And yeah, it's pretty clutch night for him. Hopefully he comes good, man.
Yeah, Shri, what do you think? Who do you think is going to be Bayern's key player today?
Well, last time around, I went for Leroy Sané as well. Obviously, there's bias there, but then I actually know how devastating he can be. But I think Bayern need to stop forcing this whole Ribery Robben vibe on him. Like, Leroy Sané has never been a right winger. I know that he did it like for a bit for Schalke because obviously he's such a talented winger. He can play on that side. And Adi would remember this absolutely incredible goal he scored against Liverpool as well from the right. But he's a left winger. Like, he doesn't hug the touchline in terms of giving crosses, but he will use his entire body to dance past you, and sort of that's his role. So Bayern did the same with Coman and I was going to say Robben, Leroy Sané, where they were sort of playing as inverted wingers, which doesn't work at all. So I think if they play him on the left, he's going to be devastating. As for my key player of the night, when I pick a key player, I'm going to pick a defender. So it can be any of those defenders. I'd probably go for David Alaba, actually, because I think David Alaba has a little bit of pace. I actually think that David Alaba can even slot in midfield like he did in the last game, which is going to be crucial because that midfield battle is something that Bayern need to win. They did win that last time around, but I just feel that Alaba has that versatility and he is very calm under pressure and has a little bit of pace as compared to Jerome Boateng as well. So I can't pick an attacking player for Bayern Munich just because I feel that if they don't defend properly, they'll get murdered tonight once again and they'll bow out of the Champions League. Adi, you wanted to raise a point?
Yeah, just quickly touching on that again. I think Leon Goretzka is not 100% fit for tonight, so he's a big if. And I think that David Alaba is going to step into that the pivot in between next to Kimmich. And I think that's going to be a big miss if Goretzka is not there. That guy's an engine, stepped up. He had, I think, 3 shambolic years at Bayern. I think that's a harsh word, but I'm not going to mince my words. And then last year, he was sensational. And I think he's going to be a huge miss for Bayern, right? And I don't know if Alaba's exactly. And I don't think Alaba has that in him to step up to that Goretzka level because he's a left back who's been converted to a centre back, and to go into midfield absolutely randomly, I don't think it's going to work anyway.
No, I'll go to Arnav just in a second. But when I say key player, I don't mean key player in terms of the fact that he's going to stand out. I actually feel even Goretzka got kind of outrun in midfield, and PSG always had like 3 players behind that midfield. My point is that someone as experienced as Alaba will have to be on his best game to make sure that Bayern win this because defensively they'll get absolutely destroyed. Arnav, from a PSG point of view and from a Bayern perspective as well, if you had to pick 2 players, because guys, we need to talk about Paris as well, who would your key players be?
For PSG, just asking you guys beforehand, what is the news on Marquinhos and Gnabry?
Gnabry is not going to be fit for this one because I saw a Bayern FP account saying that. Marquinhos may not be fine, and I don't think Gnabry is fine as well. So bad news.
Right. So I personally think that defensively, both teams have loopholes. They've got shortcomings in defense. So I think it's going to be again one of those games where you need to focus more on outscoring the opposition rather than plugging the leaks. So I think Mbappe for PSG might sound like an obvious pick, but he's shown what he can do. Again, on the counter with his pace, Mbappe versus Sula almost feels like you kind of feel bad for Sula. It's not done, man. That especially when they're trying to play a high line. And for Bayern, I think it's going to be Muller this time. I believe he's got the second highest goals after Lewandowski. Missed a couple of chances last time out, scored a great header, of course, but I think he could have scored more. So I think
Yeah.
he has to be one who needs to finish the chances that Bayern create.
Yeah.
Very, very
Totally.
good point in Muller, I feel, because he's been the man for Bayern for over 10 years. He has seen this team go. He's seen two teams, two Bayern, two top class Champions League winning teams in this Bayern squad.
Yeah.
And he's the only one, I think, along with Lewandowski now left from that squad. And Lewandowski not being there, he really has to step up his game. On the other hand, let's talk about Paris, man. Pochettino, what a brilliant performance last time around. Yes, they didn't make many chances. They didn't make 24 chances, but then they only conceded twice and they scored three wonderful goals. And they could have scored 3-4 more goals. Just they were offside. But still, you see those two front players. You see Neymar, you see Mbappe, and I
Yeah.
think that's the best two players to have in the world on the same team.
Yeah.
The two of them on their counter attack, they're just devastating. And yeah, Mbappe, he's the MVP right now. He's his form, his confidence, it's an all-time high, and he would want to prove everyone wrong. He'd want to knock out the champions of last year and prove to everyone that yeah, he's got what it takes: a Champions League and a World Cup at the age of 22. I don't need to say anything more. What do you guys think? Shri?
Yeah, man. I think you said everything that needed to be said. Is there an echo, guys? God, that's annoying. Anyway,
Yeah,
guys,
there
you'll
is.
have to go through it. There's an echo. I can't help it. Technical difficulties. But okay, it's fine now. Great. I mean, obviously, Arnav went for Mbappe, and I'd go for Mbappe as well. But I'll go for another obvious choice as well, Neymar. Just because I think, again, Neymar is an outstanding player. That's a known fact. There's no big analysis that needs to be said when it comes to that. But I think Neymar needs to play like he did in the last game in terms of becoming a creator. I think Neymar's gone from becoming a left winger to becoming more of a number 10, and he thrives in that role. So what he should do is to sort of just make sure that he slips in those balls behind that Bayern defense. By the way, I think Niklas Süle is not fit for this game as well. So that defense is just an absolute tatters. So literally all they do is play on the counter. Honestly, if they can make sure that they defend those Bayern crosses, because I think that while Bayern did create a lot of chances, I also feel that they didn't open PSG up a lot of the times because, again, there was not enough space to do so. So if PSG play on that counter, they have the two most devastating forwards on the planet. So less is more, Neymar. Don't go past players and do all of those things. Just slip the ball through to Mbappe, and I won't even be shocked if we see a crazy result where PSG score a good 3-4 goals just because of that philosophy. Just like Bayern were doing their classic cross and inshallah tactics. I think if you just slip it to Mbappe and expect the goal, that's what's going to happen. So that's my personal take. Garv Jain with the comment. Sorry, Ritvik, I'll come to you. I think we should address
Go for
the
it. Go for it.
Garv Jain saying Bayern odds really less. Now, Adi, I'll go to you for this one as our in-house Bundesliga expert, if you will. Of course, it's a kind of a game where you give both teams chances, right? But because PSG have scored those 3 away goals and because they have Neymar and Mbappe and Bayern's injuries, do you agree with what Garv is saying, or do you absolutely disagree? Where do you stand?
That's a tough one. So I don't know if they're not favorites going into this at all.
Yeah.
But they have Alphonso Davies back. I'm surprised he didn't start the last leg, which was a bit of a shock, considering his pace. When you have the likes of Mbappe, even though they're not really on the right side, there are opportunities obviously when they need his pace to track back. That was a pretty appalling decision to drop him. So he comes in. I think that's going to help them a lot tonight. Luka Hernandez is probably going to play centre back, which he has done often. So even if Niklas Süle is unavailable, he's not a bad shoe-in. But PSG, the thing is, huge credit to Pochettino, by the way. Brilliant team management in the last game. Played to PSG's strengths. He didn't go out there to play fancy football. He played on the counter. He knew what his players, what their abilities are, what they're good at. And that's the reason they went and grinded out a result. 3 goals away from home against Bayern Munich is unheard of. I mean, this season they conceded a lot of goals. We're going to come to that in a bit. But I mean, in Champions League quarterfinal, you'd expect Bayern to really hold their own. So huge credit to PSG, and I think exactly what Ritvik had said earlier. On the counter, these guys are lethal. Neymar and Mbappe, they sniff a chance, they're going to take it, man. Mbappe especially, what an absolute baller, and he's the man to watch for everyone. every game he plays. But yeah, I think based on your point, I think PSG are slight favorites tonight. So,
So yeah, before we move on to our next segment, I just have a shocking stat for you guys. Out of the 9 previous seasons, eight times either Bayern have won the Champions League or the team that has knocked out Bayern has won the Champions League.
Right.
So we might be looking at one of the champions right here. This might be the game of the season.
Yeah, totally. I just to add to that point, I just feel that it really is an incredible fixture, and I think the people that are watching us on this live, the people that are going to tune into the UCL, like this could be a night of absolute greatness. Like you may see the future best player in the world put in one of those performances where 5 years in you'll talk about how this was one of the GOAT performances. Same with Neymar as well. You know, the fact that he is playing in such a clutch tie and he's not missing due to certain circumstances, if you know, you know, it's absolutely brilliant. And you know, just seeing the champion, someone, you know, team that was so devastating last season, be under so much pressure this season and actually kind of not be the favorites in a game. Yeah, I think it's a very spicy tie. So that's what I wanted to say. Ritvik, wanted to add something
Yeah,
like that?
I think Arnav wanted to add something. He was gonna go for
Yeah,
it.
go
Yeah,
on.
I just think Keylor Navas deserves a shout out.
Yeah,
We've had enough coverage of Mbappe, Neymar, and PSG's defense, Pochettino, all of that. I think he had another world class performance, and he's been doing it for years now. Did it for Madrid, and ever since he's come to PSG, he always delivers on these big nights. Also, Adi, coming back to what you said initially about Pochettino's approach, what you think he's what the approach that you think he's going to have. Don't you think that in the Barca game, like they had a bigger advantage in this, but they kind of did completely fall back, had a low block. You know, they kind of did park the bus against Barca in the second leg. So do you expect something different this time around, or do you think he's going to let Bayern have the ball, just defend his lead, even though the
uh,
lead is shorter?
yeah, that's a good question. I think it's probably more suited them to have that low block and sit back because that again caters to their counter-attacking style. What they did really smartly last leg against Bayern was that they let them have the ball. So in a way, Bayern are also a team that they're not someone who completely dominate possession as much as people would think they do. In the Bundesliga, it's very 55-45 possession wise to them. So they're a team Bayern also play on the counter, don't get me wrong. So for them to always have the ball and then not have an outlet like Lewandowski, it's like a recipe for almost disaster that you're recycling the same play. They look like they were out of ideas, just crossing the ball almost 2 out of 3 chances that they got. So you can tell it's really frustrating for them. And I think PSG have clocked onto that very well. Pochettino is going to still sit back whether he's home or away, it doesn't matter. And just like you said, against Barcelona, it's the same thing. So don't expect anything different tonight. And again, play on the counter and play to the strengths.
By the way, guys, sorry to interrupt you. The lineups are out. Gaurav Pratap Singh, sorry, let me know how you pronounce that, has announced that. But I have the Bayern lineup in front of me. Sorry, guys, I'm going to do it off my phone. Forgive me for being super professional. But anyway, the lineup is, oh God, it's not even in order. Okay, Manuel Neuer starts in goal. Big surprises there. Benjamin Pavard starting at right back. At left back, you have Alphonso Davies, so that's fantastic news. As Adi mentioned, you have Jerome Boateng as well. So obviously that's great news again because he's super experienced. You have Luca Hernandez, so that's the back four. God, that back four does not look great. I'll be honest. In midfield, you have Joshua Kimmich. You also have. Give me a second. You have David Alaba as well. Okay, this is interesting. Leroy Sané and Kingsley Coman out wide. Thomas Muller and Choupo-Moting. Wow, what a weird Bayern team. Let's be honest. Choupo-Moting starting for Bayern Munich still absolutely rattles me. But guys, what do you make of that lineup? Because again, this is not full strength Bayern. That defense does not look convincing to me one bit. I know Choupo-Moting scored and shout out to him, but come on, man. Like this is a crucial fixture and you don't have the world's best player. So Ritvik, I'll go to you for this one. What do you make of that Bayern lineup? The PSG lineup, by the way, guys, is not out yet because their social media staff is very responsible. Ritvik,
Yeah,
let's
I
go on.
feel this might be the worst Bayern starting 11 in the last 2 years. In the last 2 years that we've
Yeah,
seen in any Champions
I
League
kind of
game.
agree. Yeah.
And if you look at the bench doesn't even have one recognized player. All of them are either youngsters or nobodies. So they don't really have someone to recall from the bench if things go wrong, or if things don't go as if they don't get that goal. Even if it's at 0-0 at 60 minutes, you want someone to come off the bench with those fresh legs. Maybe Choupo-Moting is a very good player for that, like we saw last season. But yeah, he's not. Even though he got a goal last time, he's not the striker I would bank upon to get this Bayern team home. And I just don't see that coming. What do you guys think? Arnav, you were a
Arnav,
Bayern advocate. Yeah, what do you make of this? Do you still think Bayern can do the comeback?
I think as far as the midfield and the attack is concerned, it's kind of similar to how they shaped up after Goretzka left the game. So yeah, defensively I agree. It looks like it's a shambles defensively. And yeah, even offensively it's weak. There's no Gnabry, there's no Lewandowski, but yeah, I still believe that they are gonna create some chances, and it's gonna come down to whether they can finish those. What do you think, Adi?
I mean, I don't think they're going to finish those. Team looks pretty weak. I wouldn't actually say the defense is as weak as you guys are saying it is. Gaurav saying Bayern playing a final, simple as that. No other way to look at it. Absolutely, Champions League, second leg winner down. It's a final 100%. But their defense is, I wouldn't say it's as bad as people are making out to be. Attack wise, yeah, it's not pretty reading for them. With Choupo-Moting leading the line, how many goals are you really going to score? And coming back to that same point, this is where you need someone like Leroy Sane to step up. Otherwise, Bayern aren't going to go through.
Agreed. Totally agreed. I think that, yeah, sorry, you wanted to say something? Go on.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I'm talking to you.
Yeah,
You're talking to me like you're from Taxi Driver. Anyway, go on. What do you want to say?
So I just wanted to say that the PSG lineups are not out, but we have confirmation that Marquinhos will not be in the 11, will not be in the squad today. And Paredes is going to replace him. And other than that, the starting 11 remains the same. So we'll wait for it to come out. But that is what I'm reading right now on official Twitter handles. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to say.
Gaurav, another comment. Ritvik, just read out Gaurav's latest comment, please.
Yeah, Danilo replaces Marquinhos at centre back for PSG, and Paredes comes on in the midfield. Otherwise, the same 11 as Munich, Verratti and Florenzi only fit enough for the bench.
Wow.
Oh, so that is, yeah. Even if Verratti's on the bench, that's a great sign for them, because in the second half. What?
Sorry, I'm just, you know what? I'm super annoyed at PSG for not posting their lineup on time. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you guys deserve to lose this game. Come on, man, step up. Even Chelsea and Porto doing the same thing. That's super unprofessional. Anyway, it's just annoying to me because we have to make these stupid assumptions, but we have no idea who's starting. So that's why I was just getting annoyed. Sorry,
yeah, aren't they supposed to like release it at the same time because they're in the same stadium? So.
Look, you guys got to read Kabir's latest comment, by the way. He says PSG too busy posting Neymar fan cams. That's fact, man. This is super irresponsible. But Adi, you wanted to say something?
Yes, just quickly on that. Teams officially have to announce it 1 hour before. If they do it anytime before that, that's completely up to them. So PSG have absolutely no reason to post it before 11:30 for us. So fair play to them. They're being smart.
Okay, guys. The PSG 11 is finally out. I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just saw it. It is Navas in goal with Dagba at right back, Danilo and Kimpembe at the centre back. Diallo plays at left back. Gay, Paredes and Neymar are the middle three. Neymar is going to play as cam with Draxler, Mbappe and Di Maria up front. So that is a pretty strong lineup.
That's fun. Arnav, what are your thoughts on that, man?
I actually don't agree. I think that's not a very strong lineup even from PSG. First of all, they've got Marquinhos missing, who you could see they could feel his absence in the previous game when he went off, scored a crucial goal as well. So there's no Verratti, there's no Marquinhos. I think even without Goretzka, Bayern are going to be able to dominate the midfield, and perhaps makes sense to get Neymar as cam because that's where he was operating usually. As Srini mentioned, he was trying to be a creator, so perhaps works to have Draxler and Di Maria on the wings. But apart from that, I think even PSG's defense does not look too great, and midfield, I totally expect Bayern to completely dominate their midfield.
Yeah, so guys, we've had enough of lineup talks, pre-match talks. Right now, we're gonna give you the first of its kind. We're gonna analyze the previous game and how it went, and we're gonna make our conclusions and what we think is gonna happen in the game today. This is the first of its kind you'll see on an Instagram live, and yeah, I'm gonna go to
On an
Srini.
Instagram live.
Sorry, on
Oh
a
man.
YouTube live. I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. But
Yeah, so
yeah.
Srini, are you ready with the picks?
Yeah, guys, look, I'm handling technical duties, so give me a second or two. But we're gonna start with the Bayern analysis. Wait for a second. Yeah, wait for it. Ritvik, are you gonna kick us off with this one?
This is Arnav's, bro.
Yeah, I think
This
that's
is
fine.
Arnav.
This is
Okay, sorry, it's not in order,
it's
guys.
okay. Yeah, it's
Things
okay.
happen, man. It's life.
I can start. I can start. That's not a problem.
Okay,
Yeah, I think
who's
if you
picking
look at
this,
the
guys?
pictures here, there's
Sorry.
there's a clear plan from Pochettino and PSG that they allowed Coman and Sane to have the ball out wide. They were quite wary of letting them in behind the defense because, as Srini mentioned, they were playing as inverted wingers, so they were happy to let them stay out wide. Bayern did try to double up, as you can see in the pictures. Your first picture, there's Lucas Hernandez out wide, and then the second picture, Alfonso Davies joined him from left back. So they're kind of happy letting them have that space to cross because, as you can see, they've got enough bodies in the box to cover the area. There's no real player that the crossers can pick out. So I think that was an intentional plan from Pochettino. So credit to him for that. And
Yeah, I totally
Yeah,
agree, and I want
switch to the
sorry.
left pick. The most pick, the left pick on the left. The
Yeah,
first pick.
I just thought since Arnav gave a PSG perspective, I actually wanted to zone in something that I found very
Yeah.
interesting, and then I think we'll head to Bayern. So in this image right here, guys, I mean, it may look like a really complicated, boring mathematical image, but bear with me. In the image, you can see the likes of Di Maria, Neymar, and of course Mbappe, as the image shows. So I think this movement right here was very crucial for the first goal because what they did right was because Bayern were really pressing high. Someone like Di Maria has one passing option there, which is Neymar, of course. Now you can see Mbappe there. What Mbappe does very well, which he did throughout the game, is to run that channel because he was playing as a striker. And with his speed, what he did was you can see Nicolas Sule behind Mbappe, right? So Mbappe made that run to make sure that Neymar had enough time and space to run into that space in the middle outside the box. And then what happened for the first goal was there were two options. Nicolas Sule either keeps marking Mbappe and Neymar has enough time and space to shoot and score, or he takes the decision of pressing Neymar a little. Mbappe has that space and he finishes the goal, which did eventually happen for the first goal. So I think this counter-attacking approach is crucial and is probably why Pochettino probably got the better of Hansi Flick, over the contest. So yeah, that's my point when it comes to PSG. Ritvik, you got to direct me for this one, bro. Is this the image you were talking about?
This is Arnav's
again,
image as well. Again,
again,
Arnav's
Okay,
image.
wow,
So
absolutely brilliant.
that's
Yes.
actually
Wait.
a different one. If you want me to cover
Yeah,
that.
there is a different one, which is this to me on my screen, but I think on that screen it's showing something else. So it's a bit of a
Yeah,
howler,
yeah,
guys.
yeah. Just stay on this one.
Is this your image, Ritvik? Yes or no?
no, this is
This is
Arnav's
fine.
image.
I just
Again,
cover. Srini, let
guys,
me
there's a
cover
glitch,
the
man.
stuff.
Things happen. Adi, I want you to go for your point because glitches happen, man.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Guys, as you can see, absolutely cutting edge technology. We're the new Sky Sports. We have some
Yeah,
technical
man.
glitches, but we're getting the hang of it. Guys, make sure first of all you go and subscribe to us, please.
Yes,
And
please.
that's all
Yeah,
a
we've
big
done
favor.
a lot of hard work.
Exactly.
Don't judge us on this, guys. Okay,
Yeah.
things happen. Yeah.
We're learning. Anyway, let me get straight
Yeah.
to my point. So this graph, it seems technical, but just look at it really carefully. This is all of Bayern's goals conceded from every season, from the season that they signed Manuel Neuer. You look
Yeah.
at 2021, it's 51 goals conceded, which is the highest so far, and the season's not even over. They have another 10 games to go, which is not pretty reading. 51 goals conceded in 43 games, again, highest in the last 10 years, which just goes to show there's two things that you can pick up from here. First is that Bayern are playing the Hansi Flick philosophy is outscore the opposition. That doesn't always work well, especially, of course, this year, where, I mean, they're already 3 away goals down in the first leg. Again, not pre-reading, especially with this defense. Not the strongest, not the weakest, but even with their best backline and their best 11 playing, Bayern still concede an average of, I think it's 1.6 goals, which is game. Not good at all, especially when you have again the likes of Mbappe, Neymar in the side. Julian Draxler, on the other hand, I wouldn't say he's much of a threat. A rather weak PSG side. I fully expected Virat to start, but understandable because he's again just coming back from his rehab. So yeah, this was just me talking about Bayern and how sus their defense can be, and that's one thing PSG can easily exploit tonight. So yeah, keep your eyes out.
Yeah, now guys, I just want to say, because we had a little bit of a technical error, and that's not my fault, that's Google Drive's fault, so we got to sue them. But Ritvik, what was your point? Because even though we don't have the graphic right now, I want you to still put your point across. So what were you trying to say there?
So my point was basically, if you look at the game where they beat Barcelona 8-2, the midfield three of Thiago, Goretzka, and Muller, all of them, along with the likes of Lewandowski and the wingers, they pressed them hard. But Choupo-Moting does not lead that press well. And what that leads to a lot of space between Goretzka and Kimmich, like what happened in the previous game, that allowed PSG to counter-attack again and again and again. Even though Mbappe was offside 4 to 5 times, and he could have scored in all of those situations. So he did score. He did time his run. So even if he times 2 out of 7 runs, he scores because of that midfield pivot, which they'll be lacking today as well, because Alaba is playing there for the first time in a while, and it's very tough to intercept the likes of Mbappe and Neymar with their movement, with their space behind, because you don't know where they're going to go. They have 2 free roles ahead in the counter-attacking. And that is going to cause a lot of troubles today, just simply because they don't have the likes of Lewandowski. They don't have Thiago, who sits behind the press and he intercepts those balls. Goretzka and Kimmich weren't good enough in the previous game. And yeah, I think it's just going to go from bad to worse for Bayern. They need a miracle today, and I just don't see it coming.
Wow.
Yeah, we have one last bit of analysis left. I think, Shri, that is the first picture you started. Arnav wants to cover one more point, so can you go to that quickly?
I can go to that, but if there's an error, do not blame me, guys, because again, that's not me, that's Google Drive. Anyway, yeah. Is this the image you were talking about?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. Yes, finally.
So,
okay,
Arnav, go for it.
Go on.
Yeah. Can you just zoom in a little?
Sure.
I love it.
Yeah,
right. Like the first picture there is probably one of the very few times that one of the Bayern wingers managed to get behind the PSG defense. And Sane got through, and if you can see in the second picture as well as in the first picture that he should have taken a shot there from his right foot, but he's got a shit right foot, so he didn't probably trust himself. He lets the ball run ahead, and then he tries to cut it back. And again, credit to PSG, they've got enough bodies in the box. Choupo-Moting alone, he's covered by 4 to 5 people. You come down to the bottom pictures, and you can see every time he's tried to cut inside Sane, just look at the number of players around him. There's almost 3 players around him at all times to stop him from shooting at goal, stop him from getting onto his left foot. No chance of him dribbling into the box, no chance of him taking a shot. Clear plan, force him on the right, and he's dead from his right foot.
So, Arnav, do you think that is what's going to happen today as well? Do you think Sane is going to play on the right and PSG are going to exploit his weakness, the same weakness he has?
From the lineup, it seems like it's going to be the same, because I'm not sure how comfortable Koeman is going to be on the right wing if they do decide to switch. But if I were Hansi Flick, I'd definitely swap the wingers. They're both more suited. Maybe perhaps Koeman is still fine cutting inside, but Sane does not look as comfortable at right as he does on the left. Srini alluded to that in the beginning, and even I think so.
Yeah, guys, just an interesting comment from Gaurav Pratap Singh. He says Musiala from the bench could be a surprise package. Got the pace to beat Danilo at centre back. Can play at number 10 and number 9. Albeit not crazy exciting since we haven't seen much, but could be the one to watch off the bench. Well, I haven't seen him much. Adi, I know you're the expert over here, so tell us.
I mean, yes, he could be exciting from the bench, but again, this kid is 18. It's a Champions League quarterfinal, second leg, your way home. I really don't think he's that good. We've not seen anything of real substance from him to be able to make the assumption that yes, he can come and change the game. Because again, if he was that good, he would be contending for the starting lineup. He's not, and I really don't think he's going to do as much damage. I really hope I'm wrong. But yeah, he's one for the future for Bayern and Germany. Great player, but I don't think it's a night for someone like him to shine. Srini, you want to add something?
Yeah, I mean, I'm someone who does watch Bayern from time to time because they are low key my second club in general. But what I will say is that again, like, could he? Of course, he could because he is freakishly talented. He's 17, 18 years old, so there's obviously huge amounts of talent there, and he could cause someone like Danilo Pereira problems because Pereira might be really good in the air because he is a CDM, but just in general, I think Danilo Pereira has been a very poor buy for PSG. So in that sense, yes, but I don't see where the one-on-one situations will come. That's my problem. So if you said he could trouble someone like Colin Dagba a lot, I would understand. But Danilo Pereira is probably going to play centre half, so that's not going to happen. What I will say is that Jamal Musiala can play on the left, and they need to make sure that they have players on the pitch that can sort of play a specific role in a way where they don't waste more time. Because in the last game, I think they just wasted so much time on those wings. If they had players who were comfortable, I think they would probably win that game like 5-3 or 5-4 or something like that. So I just hope that whether it's Koman, whether it's Musiala, whoever it is who comes on, just make sure that they are comfortable in the role that they're occupying. But he could cause problems, but Danilo and him won't come one-on-one. So that's my take. Amog actually is our savior because he's told us the Chelsea lineup finally. So I'll read that out because it's a bit of a it's a bit of a formality, let's be honest. But Amog is a Chelsea fan, so he'd love to know. In goal, Edouard Mendy starts. Guys, I know that's super random, but we have to do it. We have to be professional, quote unquote. Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva is back for this one, and Antonio Rudiger. That makes the three-man defense. Reece James and Ben Chilwell playing as wing-backs. Jorginho, Kante, of course, playing that double pivot. Mason Mount and Pulisic probably behind Kai Havertz. I had to do that formality because I know Chelsea fans, you feel very, very ignored tonight. But come on, you can't help it. But Vedansh has a very interesting point, guys, and I'll go to Ritvik for this one, actually. He says, talk about the high line of Bayern from the first leg. We have done that, Vedansh, so we won't really focus on that. But the second part of the question is, what do you all think if they maintain? Do you think they'll maintain the same this leg or not? Is what he's basically trying to ask. So, Ritvik, just quickly on that because we have covered this before. Do you think they will? And more importantly, do you think they should?
Well, I think it's too late to adopt a new strategy now, because we've seen the flick strategy, which is pressing from the front. And if you're pressing from the front, you are required to play a high line. There's no other option. Otherwise, it's too open in the midfield, and yeah, that will just worsen what's going to happen. So I do think, yes, they're going to play the same high line. Do I think they're going to cause problems? Yes, that high line is going to cause problems, and Neymar and Mbappe will exploit it just because their midfield's new. Their midfield hasn't performed in the previous games, hasn't been what it was in the last season defensively, and I think it'll happen again. But the thing is, the last time they played a high line, the last Champions League, they played a high line and they were perfect. Even when they conceded 2 goals against Barca, the high line was very compact. It wasn't widened. But I think this season they're very wide for some reason. Maybe it's just to stop the crosses, or I don't know what it is, but it's very wide, which causes problems in the center. There's no Thiago as well, who sits behind the high line to, to just nibble out those opportunities, those interceptions. He's not there. And I think they're really missing him. They're missing Thiago. Thiago's missing in Liverpool, and Bayern are missing Thiago over here. Adi, you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I think your point sums that up perfectly. I also don't think they're going to change the way they play. The cliche in football is play to your strengths, and that's exactly what Bayern do. Last year, the reason they did so well domestically and in Champions League is because of the high line, that almost sort of gung-ho football. It works for them, and Hansi Flick is not someone who shies away from something that works for him, even if it hasn't in recent weeks. So expect the same from Bayern and no change. And whatever it said, on point. Good stuff.
Yeah, Arnav, do you want to add something to that? Because I think Ritvik has summed it up. But anything?
Yeah, I think Ritvik and Adi have got spot on. Good point about if you want to press high, you need the defensive line to be high. Otherwise, there's going to be gap between the midfield and the defense. So I think they've covered it pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
I just want to add one thing, not on this because you guys have summed it up well. I just wish that there was some way where they could beef up their midfield. I know they probably won't be able to because of the personnel at hand and because of the injuries. but just someone who could play that additional role in defense. I think that's the only thing that they need, because I agree they have to press high up, so you have to play a high line. But then again, that defense doesn't have the pace. Well, Luka Hernandez kind of does, but you could be in a one-on-one situation like Mbappe was with Boateng and expose him. So that's the only thing that I'm kind of a little iffy about. But yeah, totally agree with you guys.
Adi?
Yes. Can I just make a really quick comment? And I think this could be a real difference maker today, is the benches for both sides, especially PSG. PSG have quality that can come off the bench, especially in the likes of Marco Verratti. Bayern, on the other hand, they have everything they have in that 11. They have nothing that could come from the bench and add to them. And I think it's those fine margins which decides these big European ties. When these guys are tired, they're pushing for 60, 70 minutes, and you need those fresh legs to come on. PSG have quality coming on that can help them either see games through, or maybe find a goal if they go a goal down, 2 goals down, whatever. Bayern do not have that. They have all legs in the basket of this 11. I think that's going to be the biggest Achilles heel for them tonight. And yeah, that's about it.
That's a very good point. Yeah. Arnav, go.
Yeah, this game could possibly even go to extra time. I'm hoping it does, but I really wouldn't be surprised if it does go to extra time, because I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, which is going to make the subs all the more important.
Yeah, see, Marquinhos isn't there, and that is going to be a big miss, as Arnav said. But let's just not forget that Bayern are defending champions at the end of the day. And have we seen a Champions League winning team, who everyone thought was done and dusted, dominate? Yes, we've seen it in Real Madrid. We saw what happened the other day. It's not like this Bayern squad doesn't have any quality. It does have a lot of quality. It's going to be very tough for them. But at the end of the day, they're winning. They're defending champions, and they want to get that hands on that trophy. Yeah, Sri, go for it.
Yeah, just my only point on that is that there's no disrespecting Bayern tonight. Obviously, they are an elite team. My only thing is that when it comes to these elite teams, they have these elite players who can sort of take those half chances and capitalize on them and make sure that the team, goes through. I just think missing Robert Lewandowski makes sure that they don't have that at all. Obviously, Thomas Muller is an absolute genius and this and that, but Robert Lewandowski is that X factor. Even if Neymar goes missing, they have Kylian Mbappe. I think Bayern don't have someone who could be a short goal scorer in that game, who could, bang it in from 40 yards out. I know there's David Alaba and this and that, but guys, let's be a little realistic here. And I think Lewandowski can convert those half chances, which is why I'm not too confident on Bayern. Guys, I have a question for you, Vese. Should we give predictions right now, or should we cover or do the formality of covering Chelsea versus Porto first and then give both our predictions at the end?
I personally would not like to cover Chelsea versus Porto. Because
I don't mind covering Chelsea for just a quick second. They're obviously going to make it through the semis. Do you think, if let's say they get Madrid in the semi-finals, do you think they can make the final? I honestly think they can. Tuchel is doing a madness right now, Chelsea. I think they'll make the final, probably lose it, but yeah, it's still a big step for them. Anyone wants to add to that?
Arnav, go for it, man.
Yeah, I don't really see Chelsea beating Madrid after what Madrid are doing to Liverpool. I think the Madrid midfield is just it's too good. I think they're going to be too good for the Chelsea midfield, and Chelsea still don't have their attack sorted. They've got different players starting every single week. The defense is not. They've just shipped 5 goals to West Brom. Let's not forget. So I don't think they've got any area completely sorted. Like, the defense is not sorted, midfield is not sorted, attack is not sorted. Midfield is probably sorted with Jorginho, Kante, Mount, which is going to be dominated by the Real Madrid midfield. But yeah, Adi, you want to say something?
Yeah,
Adi smiling.
The 5 goals they conceded, that's just a bit of recency bias. They conceded 2 goals in the 10 games prior to that, so that doesn't just go out of the window. They've done really well defensively.
Yeah, they actually have improved defensively under Tuchel. But again, even the defenders, I don't think they have a stable defense either. You've seen Christensen start for Tuchel in between. Then you've got Thiago Silva playing. He got sent off. Rudiger has been dropped a couple of times last few games. I just feel like they're not a very you've seen Chilwell and Alonso being like swapped. I feel like that's a side that's not really settled. That's not completely. I don't think Tuchel knows his best 11 right now.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, my personally, I actually Amog knows this because I'm sure he's even in the comments right now. That I tend to watch Chelsea super regularly, and I've been very impressed with Tuchel. While I think the last game against Crystal Palace was probably the first game where I've seen Chelsea dominate fully. So there's that. So that's my only sort of issue with Chelsea. But then I had actually, when the draw came out, Ritvik knows this because we were doing a live. I'd actually predicted Chelsea would reach the final back then. But I had seen Liverpool beat Madrid and Chelsea to actually beat Liverpool, but I can't see it happening as well. I agree with that enough. I think Real Madrid have an amazing midfield, and if Ramos comes back for that game, and with of course the experience that they have, with the fact that they've beaten Liverpool with all these injuries, I just can't see Chelsea going through, which is fine because again, it's their first season in the Champions League under Thomas Tuchel, not even a full season. So credit to them to reach the semis. Ritvik, what's your point, bro?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, for Chelsea to beat Madrid, N'Golo Kante will have to pull a Ji-Song Park on Toni Kroos. That is the
Jeez.
only way I see that that happening. It's tough, but yeah, I don't. I just saw a very good comment over here by Gaurav Pratap Singh. He says, "Believe Neymar, Marco Verratti, Lavin Kurzawa, Idrissa Gueye are all on suspensions to watch." Very interesting. That's a very interesting comment, and yeah, they'll have to be on their toes today. They're gonna have to play safe. But at the end of the day, if they're winning this match, they're gonna do everything it takes. I don't think they're gonna start off very aggressive. If they dominate in the early stages, if they get an early goal, then it's gonna be just easy for them. But yes, if they go down, if they're losing, then things might get heated up, and we might see some shambolic football.
Exactly. And I think the biggest misses from those, if let's say if Gay and Neymar do pick up suspensions, they're going to be the biggest misses in the next leg, which probably will be against City if they go through. So just
Yeah. By the way, guys, Amog is sort of atting me in the comments by saying that don't be a hypocrite. You wanted Porto to win. I want Porto to win tonight. I want Pepe to score a hat trick of headers, but it's not going to happen, right? But I did actually on the last slide say that Porto would win the first leg, but then I always thought Chelsea would win the second leg. Amog, who is a Chelsea fan, huge Chelsea fan, by the way, guys, you should check out his articles. Shameless plug, and check out the More Than Game website. It is in the description below. Brilliantly done there from me. But Amog says hot take, but I think we'd beat Madrid given our squad depth. I know this is not a Chelsea Madrid preview, but let's be honest, guys. The Porto game, with all due respect, I think it is kind of done. Adi, I'll go to you for this one. Do you think Chelsea would beat Madrid alone on squad depth? Because I think Madrid are so much more experienced and are a better coach side at the minute. So I wouldn't really say that. But do you agree with Amog?
I can see
Guys,
Ritvik
let's not forget we have another game tomorrow. We have Liverpool Madrid tomorrow. Anything can happen in the Champions League. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think we're getting too ahead of ourselves.
You know what? I totally forgot actually. I forgot that Liverpool are even in that tie, and they're not going to be in the tie tomorrow. I give them no chance.
We're not making hypothetical assumptions right now. Yes, it's very tough for Liverpool, but it's the beauty of the Champions League. It happens every season. We see a comeback, and I don't think we should dwell much upon it until it finally happens, because of course we're gonna touch this topic in the near future. We're gonna have more lives, and I think it's more appropriate to address it over there. Do you guys think that?
Agreed.
So
Totally
finally, before we conclude this live, just finally, I want your predictions. Let's not forget Bayern are defending champions. PSG. This was the last year's final. What do you guys think? I'm gonna go to you, Adi, first. What is your prediction for tonight?
I'm going to go for 2-1 Bayern. I think that still means PSG go through, correct?
Yeah, on away goals.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go 2-1 Bayern, but PSG to go through. Scorers, I don't know. I'm going to go for Sane, score 1, Coman to score 1, and Mbappe. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, Arnav, what do you think? Bayern win, right?
I think Bayern are going to win and they're going to go through. So I'm kind of picking a wide scoreline because I expect the game to be a little crazy. I'm going to go for a 4-2 Bayern win, a 4-2 or a 4-3 Bayern win, either of which takes them through. Scorers, I'm not going to bother because that's way too many goals for me to pick scorers. So off to you, Srini.
So
Man, what am I going to go for? Wow, Aditya in the comments saying 3-0 Bayern and Mbappe misses an open goal. Aditya is a Barca fan, by the way, guys, so he's very salty about the fact that PSG absolutely dunked them out of the Champions League. But anyway, I'll go for probably like a 2-1 PSG win again. Actually, no, I'll go for a 2-2 draw. Actually, I'll go for a 2-2 draw just because I think it'll be a little close, but again, PSG just have too many goals in them. And since Adi did give his goal scorers for PSG, I'm gonna make it on the spot. I'm gonna say Mbappe to score one, and probably Neymar to score another, and probably Mbappe to score a brace. And for Bayern, I'll go for David Alaba to score a really scrappy deflected goal, and probably Thomas Muller to score another. So that's my prediction. Ritvik, what do you think?
yeah, I do not think Bayern will win this. I think PSG are going to win this. I think it's going to be 3-2 PSG again, the same scoreline that happened last time round, with PSG getting a few late goals, 1 or 2 maybe. But I'm just shocked that Arnav says Bayern are going to go through in 4 away goals. They're going to score 4 away goals over today. That's what, that is really shocking. But yeah, that's we've gone on PSG Bayern. We have to do the formality. So
just by the way, I'm changing my prediction to PSG 2 and Bayern 1. That's all I wanted to say.
So Bayern only score 1 for you. Bayern only score 1.
PSG win. Yeah. PSG win again. Yeah.
PSG win. So we have to do a formality. What do you guys think about the Chelsea Porto prediction? I'm going to go to you, Shri, first because you finished last. I just want to.
Yeah. I'm going to go for a 3-0 Chelsea win. It's going to be dominant. Chelsea, of course, are on the back of that big win against Palace as well. Pulisic finally looks like he's in form. Kai Havertz is really starting to settle in West London. So yeah, man, I think Chelsea are going to dominate. And shout out to Tuchel as well for working absolute wonders there. So yeah, 3-0 Chelsea. Adi, what do you think?
I think 3-0 Chelsea as well. Can't really see anything going past them defensively. And yeah, I think Havertz had a great game. He's on a little bit of confidence boost right now, so I think he's going to score 1 or 2, hopefully. Yeah, 3-0 Chelsea. Arnav?
Yeah, I think it's going to be fairly straightforward for Chelsea. Another 2-1 win. 2-0 win, sorry, similar to the first leg. I like the front three, Havertz, Pulisic, and Mount, and I think they're going to cause enough problems for that Porto defense. Ritvik, you?
Yeah, you guys perfectly summed it up. And plus, Chelsea are playing a back five, so it's very unlikely for Porto to score. But I like my odds, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 Chelsea win. I want Porto to score 1. I think they're going to get it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So we have our predictions in. We have some exciting games coming up that start in about, what's the time, guys? Yeah, that start in about
38 minutes.
40 minutes. Yeah, 38 minutes. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to come back with some exciting stuff. We have videos dropping. We have everything going on. Stay tuned. Stay true in our comments. Keep commenting, keep sharing, keep liking. As Sri says, shamelessly we're plugging ourselves. We have more videos, more lives. Everything's coming. And thank you so much again for joining the discussion and supporting us through and through. And yeah, let's hope forward for a great game. We leave.